What's up, rockers all across the world? It's Friday here. This might be a different day when it drops, but it's okay. I'm stoked because this is kind of cool. I like having everybody from all over the US, country, and whatnot. And he's a fellow NorCal brethren and fellow hella brethren, 408 to be specific. Hella is its own thing. It's not just like a Florida thing, it's a NorCal thing.
It's real. It's real.
He's all the way in. He made his way out to Texas. He left Cali like everyone else did, but I don't blame him. This is John Yadon of Lift the Curse. Hey,
Hell yeah, Justin. Thanks for having me, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Friday. I'm a fellow Hella enthusiast. I actually don't say it too often, but I hail from the land of Hella.
dude, I've learned that like people out in Florida say it for whatever reason. I have a bunch of friends.
Really?
Yeah. And
Whoa, I did
I'm
not
like,
know that.
hella,
Coast
whoa,
to coast.
that's a NorCal thing, but I guess but that's weird. They're like the southern part of their eastern coast and they're saying it, but southern
Yeah.
saying it down here.
And then here in Austin, where it's such a melting pot, I'll hear it in random times. I'm like, where are you from? And a lot of times they're not from NorCal or something. So I'm just like, whoa, Hella travels, I guess.
Well, it's not even like you're like San Francisco, NorCal, because everyone you say NorCal, go, oh, you're San Francisco, Sacramento, Stockton. I'm like, no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm Gilroy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still got my 925. I'm gonna keep that as long as I can. But I'm Livermore, if you know where that is. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hour and a half San Francisco, hour-ish to Oakland, San Jose, and all that. But yeah, man, I've been in Austin since 2012. So it's been a minute. But most of my family's still in NorCal, so I try and get back once or twice a year. But man, Austin is a lot of fun and a lot of music of all varieties.
Dude, I go to Livermore once a year because one of my best friends, he lives out there, and his family and stuff. Man, it's
Nice.
changed over a decade. NorCal,
Oh,
a
yeah,
whole
big
different
time.
beast, bro, dude. Um,
Yeah.
it was actually fun to talk about because, like, music playing wise, I don't know if you felt this. I
Oh,
felt this growing up. Dude, it sucked. There was no. I feel like now even you're in Austin, you're spoiled too with music venues in
yep, yep.
Southern California. There wasn't
Yeah.
music venues. Like the culture is not big up there.
No, not at all. We'd have to go to San Francisco or Oakland, or even like some random spots. There was a really cool club, actually two different places, one in Concord, one in Walnut Creek, that were
Oh, I
badass.
think
But
I know which one you talk about, Walnut Creek. Is it the something night?
one of them was called like I think one might have been a recording studio too, but they had some fun shows. Like oh my gosh, not the Red Room, but it was like, or maybe it was something like that. It was pretty nice. And then I'll have to find out what the one in Concord was because that was fun too. We used to go see this one. Very like they were a trio hard rock metal called JBD, and it just stood for the guys' names. It was like Jarrett, Burnt, and Dan. And
That's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they dude, yeah, super catchy. But dude, they were so good. Very Pantera, Black Love Society, Corrosion of Conformity kind of inspired. But dude, they were so good and so fun to see live. And they were killer. I think one of them worked at Guitar Center right around the corner in Concord. But yeah, we'd catch them over there anytime we could.
Yeah, then Catalyst and what I grew up during in
Oh, yeah,
NorCal.
yeah.
Yeah, Catalyst. In
Yeah.
Gilroy side, more southern to Livermore, we had Gaslighter. And
Oh, yeah, yeah. Heard of that.
surprisingly, they're big names now, but back in the day, like Attila played there, and like
Oh,
they were
nice.
super small, and it was like, but
Oh,
we don't have that anymore. And there's like, it's still kind of sad. There is still no, as big as things are now, there's still no places for even. I would say I don't mean to call them mid level, but like. Yeah, but
yeah.
it really is mid-level like bands like, Escape the Fate. They're not arena rock bands, they're playing at clubs. There's no music
Yep.
clubs in like San Jose or Concord, Fremont, stuff like that anymore.
Any of
Like,
it. Yeah. We used to have to go to, yeah, the city, which was a huge pain in the ass for a lot of reasons, but worth it at the time because we were young. But like now being in Austin, like the main place we play is 15, 20 minutes from my door, and it's awesome,
oh, that's sick.
So yeah. So very, very different now. But yeah, man, it's a great place.
Well, I
But
guess it'd be cool to kind of hop into like when
yeah.
did your shredding career start? Because you are a shredder. How did that begin? Did you start playing in NorCal or did you move going out, traveling away? Like when did it start?
Yeah, NorCal. So I grew up big into baseball, like by age 5 to 15, and right around 13, 14, got my first guitar. So it took like a year or two, kind of took lessons for about a year, and then got really into it by about 15. So I'm 35 now, so I've been eclipsed the 20 year playing mark, but happened pretty quickly. Like my parents raised me on, 80s rock, 80s metal. Dad's favorite band's AC/DC, mom's is Bon Jovi. So
Oh yeah.
love all that
Both
stuff. And
both
then
sides of the spectrum. The girl rock and then
yeah,
the fucking man rock. Yeah.
yeah. So I love everything in between. I don't hate on any of it. Love it all. And then they listen to a lot of 90s country too. So I got a soft spot for all country too. But yeah, once I started playing though, Metallica and Ozzy were my gateway into literally everything else. And then I pretty quickly got into all the, I was telling you even before, Swedish metals like some of my favorite stuff. So I got into Arch Enemy really quickly, and they're still one of my
Yeah.
favorite bands. In Flames, all those. And now actually I've been into Evergrey for a long time, and then Amaranth or Amaranth, if you're familiar.
Amaranth. Yeah,
They're-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites. Like I don't know, something about the
Underrated.
sweet.
Another female kind of like industrial-ish kind of like rock band.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. They have a cult following, but they're not still as huge as they should be.
I couldn't agree more. Man, I saw him here in Austin 2 years ago, and I was lucky enough. One of my buddies worked security at that venue, so I got to watch from side stage, and it was just like I'd been wanting to see them for a really long time. So it was like they walked like this close to me, by me when they got on stage. I was like, yes,
I always made the mashup. I'm like, it's Creed and Evanescence together.
dude, that's so accurate. I love that. Hey, and it's funny, I love both those bands too. So that was
Yeah, there we go.
it was phenomenal. Speaking of which, I just saw Creed actually a couple months ago, and they were everything I hoped and dreamed
Oh,
they would be.
dude. They're
Yeah.
coming back around to Cali. I want to catch them. I missed them the last time around. They're playing really far from me, and I was like, I do not want to drive 2 hours to go see Creed.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was luckily for us, it was like a 15-minute Uber, so it was nice. And dude, if you had a chance, it was the Mammoth Van Halen Three Doors Down Creed tour. But
Oh, hell yeah.
dude, Mammoth Justin, I don't know
He's
if you've seen him
insane.
live yet.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
insane. So
his
great.
voice blew me away. I was like, oh my God. I
And
mean
he
everything, but
does,
his
people
voice
are
was so good.
surprised that like when you think when he recorded their record, you didn't know. You knew he composed everything, but he's doing all the leads. Frank is not doing
Dude, he's really good. Like,
yeah.
duh, we all know who his dad is, but like, I didn't expect him to be that good at lead. And it was
Oh, he's
phenomenal.
dude, that I was blown away. I saw him, I forgot when it was. It was a couple years ago, and they were playing at what's called the Fonda Theater for us, maybe 200-300 cap theater, and insane,
Oh,
amazing.
nice, dude. And what's his rhythm guy name? I know I
Frank
recognize him.
Sidorus.
Yeah,
I
he plays with like Tremonti and stuff too, right? Is it
Yeah,
that guy?
yeah, he's from
Yeah, dude.
Vegas.
His holy shit. His I knew he was good, but his harmonies and stuff were so good. Like
Oh,
they were just a really
dude.
good band.
And his dude, his Les Paul collection is just clutch. Like
Oh,
that guy, I follow him on Instagram and he has some gnarly Les Paul collections. Like he's a
damn.
solid dude.
That's awesome. But yeah, they were phenomenal. Three Doors Down was great too. Just a band I'd never seen before, and man, they were just happy to be there. Like the vibes of the whole night was just great. And the coolest thing was it was packed. I think it was almost sold out, if not sold out. Like it was a big arena here.
Three Doors Down has been criminally underrated forever.
Yeah, dude, they have
Under
a lot more songs than you think they have that you know. Everybody
yeah.
knows.
And I don't think I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about them either. Like there's no hate about them
Yeah.
whatsoever. But I think they're
Nope.
just completely underrated for the contribution they've done. And they're killer riff writers.
But yeah, yep, very just so many memorable riffs. Like I think a lot of people I feel like learned Kryptonite or something early on
Yeah,
in
but
their
like their
playing, and it's
clean
so
tones
good.
are gnarly fucking good. I saw them a long time
Yeah.
ago too, and it was Three Doors Down and Soul Collective or Collective Soul, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And it's like their clean tones are insane. And it's just like, dude, I can't get that.
Yeah, yeah, for real, dude. And yeah, their singer, I can't remember his name, but he was really good too. Great, just super appreciative. Thank the crowd after every single song, and they were just. It was clear they were stoked to be there, doing their thing, and
I
after
think
so
they're
long.
gonna have their re-bump up like as Creed did right now. Like all these
Yep,
bands, these like icon bands from the 2000s are kind of giving a big
yep,
Three Doors Down's gonna be the next one to get that little hype train going.
yep. I love to see it, man. It's a fun time, that's for sure.
Now for on, we both like to play, and it's fun to go down
Yeah.
memory lane and kind of talk about it. What was the first axe? What was the first guitar
Oh
that
yeah.
you got?
It was the typical Squire pack. Like me and my best friend at the time, or two best friends, one got a guitar, or two of us got guitars, one got a drum set, one got a red Squire, I got a black one. but it was the one that comes with like the amp and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
some
the
straps and
pack. You
picks
could
and
get a
stuff.
Guitar Center, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jam pack. And it had a little practice fucking amp and everything. It's like
Yep.
10 watt or something.
Yep. So man, gosh, very thankful to my friend's mom for letting us make a lot of really bad noise for a while because we didn't none of us knew what we were doing. So, but that black, I don't have the guitar anymore. I wish I did. By the time I sold it though, I had a bunch of stickers on it, and I remember having a Limp Bizkit sticker, a Good Charlotte sticker, I think a Simple Plan sticker, and there was I think one more, but it was just the typical black Squire.
Oh, that's sick.
But it did its
Yeah. I
job.
mean,
But
that's a
I remember,
classic.
yeah. It was yeah, it served its purpose. And then I remember just how stoked I was to get the second guitar, and I'm 99% sure that one was a red, really sick looking red Epiphone SG.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So don't have that one. Yeah, I have an gnarly habit of, selling and trading guitars like a lot of people do, but definitely don't have that one anymore, but it was cool.
Yeah, we all, it's like now as we get older, like, fuck, we look back and I'm like, now I've been on like good habit. I'm like, all right, I really love this boy. I'm going to keep it. I wish
Yep.
I kept my
Yep.
original as well. Like my first one, actually my very first one. I I hated it because it's unforgiving. Learning to play on the acoustic guitars.
Oh, dude, way harder. Way harder. Yeah.
Because my parents are like, if you want to play electric, you got to first learn the piano and then you got to play acoustic. And I had to do like I did jazz band and all this shit.
Dude, that's sick. Wait, how old were you when you did jazz band?
I was like sixth, seventh grade. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I
That's
fucking,
awesome.
I mean, now obviously I like acoustic, but back then I fucking hated it. It was fucking, damn,
Yeah.
these strings are not fucking
Oh,
bad.
and they hurt everything. Yeah. Yeah. I always tell
What?
people like, man, if you're trying to learn and like learn on electric, it's a lot more forgiving. It's more fun, and then work your way up to acoustic. I don't know.
And you can obviously, it's like the pedals are the fun part about it, right? That's when you're gonna
Yeah.
add pedals in the amp. Well, my first
Yeah.
electric, after I showed them, like, yeah, I'm really into this. We went to Guitar Center, and I got a Schecter Diamond Series.
Ooh.
What's his name? Dan Dogan? Dogan? No.
Don again, what disturbed guy?
Yeah, he had the
Yeah,
Signature
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Diamond Series, and it had like
Yes.
double horns hooked on there and barbed wire.
Yes.
Classic like Schecter fucking vibes of just extreme.
Yep.
I want that.
Yes. Ah. Dude, I remember just drooling over musician friends magazines. I remember, yeah, a bunch of Schecters. There's like a Schecter C1 Plus, something, something with like one of the coolest like bursts I'd ever seen at the
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But that's a great one. That's a great one.
It's just interesting, like, when as we're growing up, we're listening to stuff, and then as we transition, we think, yeah, we would just want to rip Pantera riffs. We're gonna be hard as hell, and then you transition your style, and we're like, oh, whoa, holy crap. John Mayer is totally fucking, all his stuff he's doing is incredibly hard.
Yep. It's just yeah. I remember same thing happened for me and my friends. We're in this such like tunnel vision metal thing. It's like if it wasn't metal, it sucks. But then you start realizing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so much talent out there. It's crazy. I've always been an out of the closet Nickelback fan though. Like even when my friends were like, "Nickelback sucks," I'm like, "Dude, check out this riff." Like I'll show you a Nickelback song that's heavy that you'd never have heard. You
I
know?
bet you, like, if someone should do like a thing, like, how they have all these YouTube series about, like, oh, what do you think this is from? Do one where
Yeah.
you do the whole, just take out the vocals, because you have apps now where you can take out everything and just
Oh
have
yeah.
the instruments playing, no vocals, and like, oh, what do you think about this riff? Oh, this is
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Then add the vocals. That's Nickelback.
Nickelback. You just got Nickelbacked.
That would be
Oh man,
actually
that would
pretty funny. I'm gonna put that on my notes.
yeah, you should do that, Justin. I think that's a layup.
Um,
Oh man.
well then what brought you out to Texas? Like why'd you leave the
Yeah,
NorCal
yeah.
out there, man? That's a big jump.
Yeah. It was just like timing was great. One of my best friends had moved out here. He was going to University of Texas, which is the big university here. And I just wanted to be either Nashville or Austin, just somewhere with a lot more music than where I
Oh
was
yeah,
at. And
Nashville. You could have just,
um,
I mean, things happen for a reason, but like Nashville's the big
yeah,
bump right now. It's the hot ticket.
for sure. And honestly, back then it was too. Here just made sense. I had, a couple friends here and a couple job opportunities. So I don't remember if I told you this part, but I went to UCSC. So I went to Santa Cruz for
Yeah,
college.
yeah. You mentioned, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Banana
sweet. But when you
Slugs.
mentioned, yeah, that's pretty much all they're known for. But yeah, just being a smaller town, like the Catalyst is cool, but it wasn't like at least for the kind of music I wanted to play, it wasn't. I wasn't really getting what I wanted there. So I
Yeah,
was like,
because they have that
you
small
know what I mean?
atrium on the side. They have two
Yeah.
stages, and I
Yep.
know local bands would play there, but obviously you want to play in the main room. And again, that was for large bands to play in there.
Just
Big band.
touring bands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Austin just made sense. So came out here and literally I graduated in April and moved out 2 weeks later and haven't yeah, haven't looked back, and I love Austin. It's a great place. Huge melting pot. No one's really from here anymore, which is kind of fun. And yeah, man, just lots of venues, and it's changed a lot, obviously, with all the tech companies and money here. Like some of the classic venues have went away, but I would argue there's still so many. And from there's not as many places that when I first moved here, there's a place where local bands that had never really played here could play pretty easily. It's a little harder to, I guess, start, but again, there's a place I'll give a shout out to called Come and Take It Live that they're the primary like hard rock, metal spot here, and they get touring bands through, but they do some local shows too. But that's kind of our home base, and all the people that work there are phenomenal, and it's a really badass venue too. Like sound is great there.
I remember I caught a show,
So,
a buddy of mine called Sam Houston. He's
oh
a
yeah,
he's kind of like
that's really familiar.
he started off as like hip hop and then he got into more like a bluesy side of rock and roll stuff. Uh,
Okay.
but he would do shows over at Far Out on the south side.
Yo, yeah. Dude, they
Yeah.
started doing big big shows there now. Did you
Really?
know that? Did you
Yeah. That's
they
that
did the
place is
festival there
sick.
last year?
I loved it.
Yeah.
The outdoor vibe is so great during there, especially during I can imagine during fall, midsummer
Yeah.
when it's not hot as fuck, but like it was really
Yep.
good there, surprisingly.
Yeah, but that's a great one. Yeah, come and take it. And some of the bigger venues. There's one a block from Come and Take It called Emos. That's probably like a 2,000 person cap. And then yeah, there's just kind of every size venue here. So no matter what size band you are, like there's a place for you, which is pretty cool.
And I've just been hearing in general, like how Austin is becoming the new Nashville, essentially. I mean, it's always been a music hub, but like now, without people, obviously Nashville's starting to get a lot of congestion, and so now everyone's kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess I'll go to Austin and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's great, and I love Nashville too. But yeah, I remember last time I went a couple years ago. Me and my buddy actually just went to see Periphery actually because they weren't coming here.
Hey,
Yeah, have you heard Loathe
yeah,
by chance
yeah,
or the name?
yeah. I've seen them,
Dude,
caught them like a couple times. They were,
sweet. Yeah,
yeah, they're really
it was
good.
them too.
Oh heck,
Dude, yeah, we kind of went because again, we love Periphery, and ironically, the headliner was Under Oath, but we weren't super into Under Oath, so we actually went to see Periphery and Loathe, and we're like, oh, let's do a weekend trip to Nashville, and it was so fun. But I remember trying to go to Broadway on like a Saturday night. Huge mistake. It was
dude, it's mental,
impossible
but
to
it's
get anywhere.
super packed, dude. Well, like Broadway,
Yeah,
yeah, Broadway's a touristy thing, but the best part of
yeah,
Nashville is gonna be like Paper Mill District, Germantown, like these
hmm
other areas. Like there's some cool spots on there, but like really the best bars and live music venues are off Broadway. I personally think.
totally. No, and we found that out too. Because we were at some like really cool brewery. I got to find the name of it before we went and tried to go to Broadway, and then we just
Yeah.
ended up going back there because like that was way more our vibe. But
Now, this I guess be a good, I mean, even though you're still on the more metal side, but like, do you feel the music community is as open and inviting, in Austin as to Nashville? Because that's the big thing is like Nashville is known as
yeah,
the songwriter capital, and they
yep,
have
yep.
songwriter nights and everyone kind of like, everyone's kind of like, oh, you use that drummer? I use him too on Tuesday nights and we
Uh,
do stuff. Do you feel like that's the same thing in Austin?
Ooh, that's a phenomenal question. I would say it's not quite the music business town that Nashville is. So you got, at least to my knowledge, you're not going to find strict like songwriter houses like you are there. Actually, ironically, the brewery we were at there, I could see like the ASCAP and BMI buildings like right there in Nashville.
Yeah.
So it was I don't know if that's Music Row or whatever, but it was in that area. Here, it's not really like that. It's more you got to kind of spend some time like finding the people. One thing I would say though, every genre is here, which is pretty cool. Like you could find certain venues, certain places that have more the singer-songwriter stuff, and certain places where you do have the same drummer playing for a bunch of different bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would say it's more kind of in pockets. But like you could really find everything here, and a lot of it too, which is pretty cool. So I would say it's very different, but just as cool in my opinion.
How about in the feeling of just like, can you walk into, anywhere and hear like, all right, I want to go bar hop and just see different art, acts playing and stuff like that. Can you do that? You would say in Austin?
See, not as much as when I moved here, truthfully.
Okay.
That's one of the things that's went away a little bit. I think they're trying to recreate it in certain parts of town, but Austin's known for Sixth Street, and Sixth Street is where that it was more like that. But now there's a couple spots you can go to. There's a bar called Friends Bar that always has badass blues bands playing. But besides that, like on Sixth Street, it's kind of more clubs and stuff. Like you'll find some cover bands, but up until like a certain point in the night. But not like Broadway where you can literally walk and there's multiple levels of the same place having different bands playing. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
like
not on
Jason
that level.
Aldean's and stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
not like that.
I remember one of my I think it was like my second national trip. We went to Jason Aldean's bar, and we just stumbled into one of the floors was a writer's block night. And
Oh, sick.
all these people, like, they have five different people and they're all got acoustic guitar. And they're all people that wrote songs that blew up to be big hit country songs. And they're like, you might recognize this song. And it was like a Taylor Swift song, and I wrote it. But
Oh,
they sell off the song, but they're playing it the way they envisioned it versus how the
yeah.
final product was, which was sick.
I love that, man. That's one thing I've listened to a lot of country. I still listen to a lot of Nashville country and love it. But I love that just kind of whole idea of somebody writing a song and then like there's a good example I have of a guy named Eric Paslay. He wrote a song, I think it was called Friday Night, and I first heard the song Lady Antebellum or now Lady A. They recorded it, and I've always loved them. And then he like re-recorded it after, because he's the one that wrote it originally, and I think his version like got even bigger after that, which was kind of sick. So it's almost like the song was like recorded and released like three different times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think it's kind of cool that it's like that. And like Chris Stapleton, for how big he's gotten, like he was famously known as writing all these songs for like Luke Bryan and stuff. And then he finally gets his shot. Like I think it's a cool concept that you don't really find in other genres, I feel like.
Yeah, it's becoming more obviously the secret's out. That's why now everyone's kind of drifting to the Nashville side of things and doing that.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome at the same time because now it's giving people one more, I'd say, creative confidence.
Yeah. Like write these songs. And say, yeah, maybe if it isn't your voice that sells a bajillion copies, it's like, doesn't mean you still can't write the songs and, pitch to somebody else and still have a great career doing it?
Yeah, and it's making it even better and more so, with this age of technology and us posting things and like, dude, hey, I heard your thing. If I can buy it from you, I love the hooks and I like the melody and I like the lyrics you
Yeah.
did, and then can I use it and stuff like that. So it's we're in the best. I've
Dude.
always said right
Eh,
now we're in the golden age of musicianship.
Oh, dude, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. I know, yeah, some people would say the opposite, but I couldn't agree more. It's the
It's
best.
it's it's what you take with it. Some people are like, no, I want the old ways back in the day. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
why? I can buy a full recording gear. I don't have to
Yep.
I don't have to go anywhere to record anything. I can do write everything on here. I can send all my riffs to somebody and then they can mix
Yep.
and produce it. Dude, it's fucking clutch.
It's the best. It's like I record everything right there. And yeah, it's the best, man. Dude, you have some sick axes, by the way. And I love all the stuff you post, but I think the SG, the main
Yeah,
SG you
yeah,
have,
that's
dude,
my baby.
it's so nice.
And I found her. So she's a Bernie, which Bernie is now
Okay.
it's a Japan company. It's a Bernie PSG, so pink SG, and it's got gold
Okay, okay.
crossbones on the volume and toner knobs, and then a
Oh, sick.
crossbones on the headstock. I saw it on OfferUp because this dude, I was selling a Bugera or Bugera, however you want to pronounce it.
Oh yeah. I've had one of those. Those are cool.
I had one of their amps, and then I had the matching 2x12 cabinet for it. And
Hmm.
the guy's like, "Hey, saw this. I want to get it. Would you want to trade for anything?" And I look on his page. I'm like, "I want that pink SG."
That dude. Oh, it looks nice. Looks
Oh,
fun to play.
it's so hot. It's a set neck, not a bolt on. Fucking just
Nice.
beautiful. It is everything I could ask for.
Ah,
That's what I get complimented the most on it too.
dude, no, it's fucking awesome, man. I love it.
Um, but now I think that's the only one that have that's not an ESP. I'm mostly an ESP guy. I'm not endorsed on them, but I love ESP.
Is that a arrow
Yeah, yeah,
behind
yeah.
you?
The black metal one. Yeah, yeah.
Sick. Nice. I've always loved those. I know it's a nuance on the. I forgot. Is one wing shorter? Is it a little
Yeah.
bit Randy
Yeah,
Rhoads
yeah.
stylish?
It's like,
Okay.
yeah, that's why, so they can get away with it legally
Yep.
wise.
Of course. Yeah.
Uh,
I want to say that, but yes.
yeah.
No, they look very sleek though. Like
Oh yeah,
I
I got the
super cool.
satin, so it doesn't really smudge as much versus the having a gloss on there.
Yep.
I'm all about the
Yep.
single pickup, so I'm all about bridge. So there's
Hell yeah.
the EMG 81 for that one,
Okay.
and then
Love
I
it.
have another one. Is their Les Paul style. It's a single pickup, but they use the Seymour Duncan's the blackened ones.
Oh, okay. How do you like
Yeah,
those?
they're cool. They're very, I would say, bright, like incredibly
Mm.
bright in the mid range. Like there's not a lot of low end on them, so you got to really kick that up, whatever you're gonna use. But they
Yep.
sound
Yep.
killer. If you're gonna write some punk riffs, they sound great for that.
It's probably great.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, I
but
love that, man.
you were a solar induced artist with Ola England and all that stuff, dude.
Yeah. 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 Dude, they're great. They're. Have you ever played one? I feel like a lot of people don't get to
No,
play them because you don't find them in stores very often, obviously.
no, and I think they were at NAMM this year. I don't remember if I saw them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they had a smaller setup. I wasn't there, but I remember just seeing them post some stuff. I think they had a smaller setup there. But
Yeah, no,
yeah, dude,
I've been
I love
following him
them,
for a while, and it's great to see the brand blow up as it is now.
dude. It is. Yeah, here's one of my favorite ones. This one's really fun. I had this one for a long time, but yeah, this one's they're all really sick, man. Like this one's just a normal Floyd Rose. Dude, there's a guy I've absolutely fallen in love with called Tactical Black Vault. Does these custom knobs? If you see those, but they actually have like our Lift the Curse logo in them.
Oh, that's sick.
Um, yeah, I don't know if you see. Yeah, you don't have to have logos in them, but I've had him do a lot of knobs now, and they're really cool, and he'll do pretty much whatever you want. But it's just like one small way what I never realized before. You could just customize your guitars a little bit, you know?
Yeah, you make it your own, and that's when it gets to like the real
Yeah,
flair to it, dude.
yeah, but yeah, Solar though, been working with them for maybe 3 years. So I did. Have you ever heard of the metal band The Browning?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. OG
So I
kind of
did a
like
two.
nerd rock heavy metal band.
Yeah. So I actually didn't really know about them back in the day, but got hooked up through a friend. They were needing a guitar player for a tour, so I actually played for them back in July 2022. Did like a 11 show tour with them, playing guitar, and yeah, I got the Solar thing like right before that.
So it wasn't
So I've been.
23. Oh, 22. Because I
I think it's
just
22. Oh, did you see him?
was it with Pawn and Burning Body?
No, dude, I wish I was on that one.
Because
I
those are
love
my
that band.
boys. I'm good
Oh,
friends with those
sick.
dudes out in San Antonio, and they brought the Browning out on. I think it was last year. Yeah, it was
It
last
was
year.
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they brought
no, I
Browning.
was
Yeah,
doing it before
I'm trying
that.
to think. I'm like, I don't remember you there, dude.
No, I was not. But dude, oh,
uh,
I heard that looked like a sick tour.
yeah, and it had
But
Hollow Front as well. They're from Michigan, which I
okay.
was beyond impressed. They're a metalcore band.
Ah,
They were
nice.
really good. But I forgot the dude's name. He's got like I don't know, a couple 100,000 followers. The guitar player
Who
they
is
had.
this? Who the Browning
Yeah,
or
Browning.
Hardcore Keem? Hardcore
Yeah,
Keem.
yeah.
Yeah, Keem. Yeah, he's my boy. So when I played, he was playing bass at the time. So they've yeah, just great guys. I was just filling in for one tour and then did a couple festivals with them. But it was cool. Starting right before that, I started working with Solar. And man, have you ever played an Everton Bridge yet?
No, I want to. I've heard a lot of things, and I'm really curious.
Yeah, so I'm kind of split. I love whammy bar guitars, so I'm big Floyd Rose. Big one of my favorite guitars is Ibanez Prestige that has like their Edge tremolo system, which I love. But I'm a huge Evertune fan too. So like for our upcoming Lift the Curse show, I'm gonna do the set split, half of it with Evertune, half with Floyd.
Yeah.
Um, so I get the best of both worlds. But with the Browning stuff, Johnny the singer, who they're stellar human beings, but it's been his band forever. Like he writes all the riffs and he's just a singer live. But they have a weird ass tuning. It's a 7 string, drop to drop G, and then like the top high strings are it's like an extra C and G. So it's like a weird open tuning. So if you like hit it open, it sounds really sick actually.
That's dope.
But he does it because
Adding more nerdiness to the nerd rock.
dude, yeah, exactly. But you can do these open things, just these open. I always called them hardcore chords, but you could just do these open, just like breakdowning nasty sounds really easily with
Oh,
those
that's
high
sick.
strings. So it was kind of a funny fit for me because I've always like identified more as a lead guitar player, like first. And for their stuff, it's like you can almost cut off my left hand. It's mostly just like a bajillion chug patterns.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a really fun challenge and learning all the parts. And I sat down with Johnny and he would send me videos of all the different riffs and stuff. And it was a blast, but like I definitely got better as a rhythm player doing that stuff. But yeah, started doing Solar there. I was doing the 7 string Evertune for that. And then for lift the curse stuff, it's all 6 string, drop C, and then I like to record depending on what I'm feeling, whether it's whammy bar or Evertune. But man, Evertune's a lot of fun. Like you can bend with it. I know people like to say you can't, but dude,
I was gonna bring that
Andy
up. I've heard the
J,
story that people
yeah,
saying that, but I'm like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure
no,
this guy and this
dude,
band, they have an Evertune like Tetrarch. They do some bends in there, and I'm pretty
yeah,
sure they have Evertune.
yeah. I could try and demonstrate. I don't know well you'd be able to hear it, but like it's you can set it so you can't. It is phenomenal technology. Like if you like I can see the practical recording applications of why you wouldn't want it to bend. Like if you literally want like the tuning not to move at all, like you
Yeah,
can do that. So it's like a zone thing. So there's zone 2 and zone 3. In zone 2, it won't move. Like you can literally bend it as hard as you want and audibly it will not bend. It's the
that's
weirdest thing.
that's so fucking weird. I'm like, I'm bending it. Why aren't you changing?
Yeah, it's like look at my hand, and then you hear it. It's like no, dude, that's da da da. It's the exact same note. But no. So what you do, you barely go into zone 3, and that's when the pitch starts changing. And you're doing this
Uh,
all with the actual tuner up here, and then you back it off a tiny bit, and that's how you could treat it like a normal ass guitar. But the tuning stability is absolutely phenomenal. Like it's pretty awesome. It's almost like hard to get not hard to get used to. It's weird to get used to because our ear is trained to like hear things just a slight bit out of perfect tuning, and to hear it
yeah,
almost like perfect all the time is like almost strange.
yeah, right.
If that makes any sense.
So now going into, I'd say restringing and tuning and everything like that, what's harder,
Oh,
going Evertune or back to Floyd?
great question. Different. So if you stay, so again, for us, for lift curse, we stay in drop C. We pitch shift here and there, but like literal guitars are drop C. So if you keep it drop C, putting new strings on, so easy. Like you might have to do a tiny, tiny bit, but it's like really fucking easy. But if you change tunings, it takes a little while. It's a pain in the
Mm.
ass. Like if you're doing that, probably either want to have multiple or it might not be your thing. But if you stay in the same tuning, at least for a certain project or something, it's phenomenal.
Well,
Like
that's
my
what I do with my
Ryan,
Floyds anyway. Anything I only have
yeah,
two guitars with Floyds, and I keep them in their tuning. Drop C and drop A,
yeah.
and they're staying there.
Then it's a similar concept, man. Like Ryan, our singer for Lift the Curse, he also plays guitar. He always jokes we're the opposite. I like to change strings all the time. It's kind of therapeutic for me. I throw a record on and just like go to town. But he's like, dude, I could get by changing strings like once a year probably, especially with Evertune. So it's just kind of,
And it saves
to each
money
their
too.
own.
You save money.
Yeah. Yep. One thing too, I'll say about this is probably similar for ESPs. I haven't had one in a bit, but all the Solars with the Floyds, they all have locking tuners too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't
ESP's
really
good.
think you
Yeah.
stick. You know what I mean? Like you don't really. I don't personally don't think you really need them. Like my Ibanez doesn't have them. And just the locking's good enough. But for the string changing, it's fuck. I love it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It's just so much. I
So
don't have to wind anything. I'm like, cool. Boop. There you go.
yep. So for me, I've gotten pretty fast with the changes on the Floyd stuff too. Like you said, as long as I'm keeping the tuning the same. Um, but yeah, Solars, I can't say enough good things. Like the guys there are great. So Joel, it's kind of cool. Ola just did you see that back Escape the Internet tour they just did? He just
Yeah,
did
I
for like
saw
a
some of
month.
the videos with Bjorn, right? Bjorn,
Bernth,
there you go.
yeah, and then the bass player, I keep forgetting his name, but also phenomenal. So Joel, he's the main Solar artist rep. He played bass for Ola in that tour.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I know
So
he was supposed
yeah,
to
like
be part of like the whole trifecta, but then Ola became like an opening artist for it and something like that. That's all I remember.
yeah, yep. It looks like it went super well, but Joel, he's been my solo rep for the few years. He's just an awesome dude to work with, and they're cool, man. I feel like they don't really they now have some guitars that are more expensive, but the bulk of them you won't find one over like 1,500. So it's like that nice like sweet spot where you get them and you're not afraid to like kind of beat them up live and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And even
Not that
then,
you want to,
like I
but
take a look at their website. You can get B stocks for like 800 too. So it's
oh
like,
yeah. So like like ones like this, like new, probably 13, 14, just because it's got all the stuff with like the Fishmans and the Floyd. Like, but if you get some of the ones, even there's one I'm looking at. There's this really cool like green one, not Fishmans, but a Floyd still. It's like 1,100, I think. But yeah, you can get B stocks, and they even have like the other brand now. I think you can get some for under like $600. So they're doing a good job there, and they're starting to have more expensive ones too. Like they have some European made ones that can get up to like 3 grand. So they're starting to get into that game a little bit too.
I'm
But
gonna put it in there, give it them another couple of years. They're gonna have the Solar Custom Shop, the Artist Custom Shop series. they're gonna
I've asked.
have
It's yeah, and they just don't have the capacity to do it yet. But I think you're right, man. I think there's gonna be enough demand for it.
and it's gonna start off going slapping his pick down and go,
Yeah,
great news,
yeah,
guys.
exactly. Uh, but dude, it's a cool company to work with, and the fact that it's all like pretty much family and like friends that all like do everything. Like it's very a very real people approach to it all. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, because
Like
I don't know anyone that's you're the first person I've now known that officially with them.
yeah,
Besides
yeah.
like I follow like what's it, Crypta, the Crypta
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
guitar. Yeah.
Dude, they're so
Uh,
good. Have you seen them yet? I saw them in
no,
Austin
I
a couple
want
years
to.
ago.
They've
It was so
honestly they've
good.
had a great gradual blow up. Like
I agree. Yeah,
when they
yeah,
started, they didn't have no one really. They were playing just like all European festivals and some Brazil festivals, and then finally they got
yeah.
huge like out of nowhere. I'm like that's which I'm stoked for that.
Yep. Yeah, but them, who are some other ones? Obviously Ola and stuff and the people in the haunted. But there's been quite a few other ones. Oh, actually, Olaf from Amaranth. He's on there. He's on their roster now.
Oh
Not
hell
quite a,
yeah!
he's actually when I saw them in Austin, he had just started playing Solar. So the funny part was he actually played two of my favorite Everty models. Like he played that black one, and then where's the white one? The white one's on the wall over there. But he literally played two of the ones that I play mainly too. I was like, holy shit, this is cool. But yeah,
Now
they're crushing it.
I guess this is a good question to ask for like as you've seen like you brought up the Haunted and you know Ola
Yeah,
played with the Haunted, but he wasn't originally part of the Haunted. He joined what a couple of years ago or something like that. Do
I
you
think so.
think with the age of like the new YouTube guitar players now that have like blown up, you know, do you think like the people like the Ola, what's his name? Oh, which is I'm drawing a blank. Obviously the what's his name? Tim Henson? Tim Henson?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cliffy guy. But like when they do their brand is bigger than the band that they're with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's it's interesting, right?
Yeah. I like they almost carry the bulk of the following, a big I would say even a quarter of the following versus for the band or whatever they're playing with now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's got to be an interesting dynamic. Um, yeah, I wonder how they kind of work with that. Like
Like, do you think that's a big impact on the band overall for them being now this more social media presence before than it was like, you know, 10 years ago? It wasn't really that wasn't a thing back then. Now it's a huge thing. You know, these guys are
yeah,
character figures for the guitar world.
for sure. I would think both of them, especially Tim from Polyphia. Um, they've been a band for a long time. Like actually, I think they're all from the Dallas area. So 3 hours ish from Austin, but I think they've all been a band for a long time. So yes, like he's blown up, I guess, more than the other guys, but seems like they've still got a great thing going as the band. So it seems like they've kept band culture the same. So I think they've dealt with it well from afar. It looks like, but
Yeah. Or like another
um,
great example is Kiki Kwang Kwang Kwang.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't she
playing
join
with
Smashing Pumpkins?
yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you think she has effect now on their notoriety, you know? I mean, Smashing Pumpkins is huge
Yeah,
regardless, but like,
of
you know,
course.
she's an image herself, you know, she created a name brand for herself on Instagram and YouTube videos doing this crazy eyebrow playing, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now she's playing with one of the largest alternative bands in the world.
Yeah, I think from both sides it's genius. Don't you? I feel like it
Yeah.
makes sense for the Smashing Pumpkins, even though again, like you said, they're already a huge band, have been for a long time, but I feel like that gives them almost this like newer resurgence of maybe this weird subsector of the guitar nerd world that they didn't have
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah,
You know?
right. Because like, you know, a lot of people they don't tour regularly and they're not, you know,
Yeah.
respectfully, they're not known for crazy riffs like Kiki does. And so she's
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
a whole new community of people to like, oh, I guess I'm gonna check out Smashing Pumpkins because Kiki's in it now.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, that's kind of how I feel about man, I've always been so stoked to see Nita Strauss and Alice
Oh,
Cooper. I know she's played for a while, but like I've followed her solo stuff for a long time. So it actually and I like Alice Cooper's music too, but it makes me more want to see them live because I get to see both. I
yeah.
feel like it's kind of like that.
I feel like we're on this weird culture at the same time as well. It's like we have the Kikis, Anita, um, the Olas, and we have these all these new shredders, but the older shredders are kind of like it's kind of weird. So like Orianthi, you know,
Oh yeah.
part of, Alice Cooper, and she was a huge shredder before the internet age. And I feel like
Yeah.
now there's a big gap between the shredders that were just the single shredders, like the Joe Satriani's, the Steve Vai's and stuff like that. Those gaps
Yep.
from back then to now.
Yep. Yeah, it's an interesting time for sure. I think another one that you made me think of, I've been really into the new All That Remains album. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but Jason Richardson, he's been
Yeah,
playing with
yeah,
them
yeah,
for
yeah.
years now. But same thing, I got into his stuff when he was just solo, just shredding his brains out, which he still does. But to hear him in that band and now knowing it's him, it's like, oh yeah, that is Jason all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
He makes it work though, which I really respect. You
Yeah,
know,
I watched a new interview with the I forget it's Phil. Phil's their singer, right?
Phil Labonte, yeah,
Yeah. He talks about that and whatnot and the music like, writing it for the new album. 'Cause I've heard some songs in it and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
yeah,
I haven't listened completely yet.
yeah. I feel like he was a good fit too, because who the guy that obviously passed away that he replaced, he was phenomenal too. So I think Jason's done like a great job playing enough like him, but obviously he's Jason
Still
Richardson can
keeping,
do
yeah,
whatever he
his own
wants.
thing. Yeah, it's like Zach Wild playing with Pantera.
Yes, obviously I'm a huge Zach guy. Zach's he'll always be my number one. Yeah, I freaking love anything Zach does.
Well, it gets us more importantly, let's talk about your music, dude. It's called Lift the Curse,
Yeah, appreciate it.
bro. How did this band
Hell yeah.
start up? Like you guys are labeled as a duo band.
Yeah. No, appreciate you asking. Yep, Lift the Curse. We've been a band April 2022, so about 3 years old. It's Ryan Hegefeld is the singer, also plays guitar, and I cover guitar as well. So recording wise, I'm writing. He'll do drums, I do bass, and they both guitars. I do some backup vocals. He does all the rest of the vocals. And live, we do have a real human play with us on drums. So
Yeah,
we
we're
do.
back in tracks, guys.
Well, we do have backing tracks, so I'm gonna piss off bass players, but we do backtrack bass. But it was bass that I played at one point, so Human did play it at one point, a real
We
bass. I
wrote the
love
riffs,
playing
I
bass; it's fun.
swear.
Yeah, yeah. And but no, it's great, man. We always like when we have to classify our music, I just say rock/metal. But it depends on your lens, right? Sometimes people, if they're way more metalheads, they're like, "Oh no, you guys are a rock band." Or if it's the opposite, if it's like someone that doesn't really listen to either, they're like, "Oh, you guys are metal," because we are primarily singing, but there's definitely some screaming parts. Like he can do whatever he wants. But when I first heard him sing, I kind of got sort of Linkin Parky vibes. He definitely has that like higher register. It's one of those voices too where, I mean, it sounds high, but when you go and try and sing it, it's like, oh fuck, like it's higher than I thought. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we put out a lot of music. So Ryan and I, our favorite thing is to write, and we were in another band together for about 8 years before this. So we've been doing music over 10 years together. But even way pre-COVID, he lives about 90 minutes from me. So we actually have always written and recorded remotely and just both use Logic, share files over Google Drive. We've done that for years and continue to do that so we can stay super efficient. And yeah, in just the 3 years, we're about to release our, I think, fourth album. So we have over 50 songs out right now, which is kind of nuts
Yeah, I
since
was gonna bring that up. Like at this time
2022.
period, you guys have put in work down. You're just like boom,
Dude,
album.
yeah. It's aggressive, and I'll tell you, we kind of started talking about this a little bit earlier, man. We obviously being a new band, we always kind of go over the assumption like most people don't know who we are, and we're good with that. But like early on, we're like, fuck, we're releasing a lot of music, doing the singles approach, and I was like, man, people finding us, it'll be really hard for them to go sift through 50 singles. So we didn't experiment with the first one. We're like, okay, we got all these singles out through our distributor. DistroKid is what we use, what a lot of people use. We're like, all right, let's try and package them into an album just so it's easier for new fans to
Listening
find
to us,
these
yeah.
songs. Yeah, so that's what we started doing. And each album we've done it more traditional since. So the second and third we've done like 5, 6 singles, then the rest are brand new with the album. Um, so yeah, we got three out. Our fourth, this one is going to be mostly. It's kind of exactly what you said about Architects that made you mad that they have all the songs out. That's pretty much what we're doing this time, but we're nobody when Architects is huge. So I'm with you. But
Yeah, it's just my thing. I was like, I got like
I'm with you,
notifications.
man.
They released two singles 2 days before the album drop. I'm like, dude, you guys have like four songs out already. Come on, bro.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I even force myself. I don't want to listen to it till the album drops in the next couple days. It's
Yep.
like
I,
half
I
the
I do that with
album
my
was
favorite bands too.
really.
Yeah, because it takes out the excitement, right? Like I've had that exact same thing happen where I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna force myself. Even a single, I'll be like, I don't want to listen to this too much now. I know the album's out in 2 months. I'm gonna wait a little bit. So,
Yeah, like
um,
that nostalgic feeling and like, yeah, it did suck, going to like Tower Records or whatever and buying an album and then listening.
dude,
I'm like, fuck, that sucked. But like
shout out Tower Records, man. I love Tower Records.
and then those
Uh,
glorious moments where you're like, oh dude, Limp Bizkit, I'm gonna play this from front to back and bump all the cuss words up so everyone can hear it.
yes, dude, 100%. So, but for us, we've just found with the singles approach, just being a new band, like it's helping more people get into us. You know what I mean, or find out about us. Just the
Yeah.
way we're going about it. We also, this is kind of a crazy thing with how many songs we release, but we try and do a music video for almost all of them. So
Damn.
we
Oh my
we
God. Wow.
I
That's
know,
props. That's
but so we've done a lot of them ourselves. Lately, probably the last year, we're working with a good buddy who's really talented, and it's gonna be hard to go back because Ryan and I we would take turns, shooting each other and take turns who edits and stuff, which is super fun. Not saying we won't do it, but we also work with a guy now, Clayton King. If you haven't heard of him, he's phenomenal. He's incredible guitar player on Instagram, and he does a lot of work with Neural DSP, and he actually does a lot of their video stuff. But he's also like over 100K guitar stuff. If you haven't seen him, he's fucking incredible. But he's here in Austin, also a really good video guy. So he's done probably our last, gosh, 5 to 7 music videos. Like we just shot a new one yesterday, and it's so much fun, and his quality is insane. So trying to do that for almost every song, and kind of also part of why we're trying to do the singles approach is a couple of the last albums when we didn't do that with certain songs. Sometimes we just moved on and never did a video for them, and Ryan and I just feel kind of bad. We're like, fuck, like we actually like that song a lot, but we never
you
never
forgot
gave it
about it. Yeah,
the
you're just like
treatment.
your mind's like, all right, cool, we put it out, keep going,
Yeah,
keep going, keep going, which is
dude.
a good thing. You're not like simmering. You're not sitting there like, all
Yeah,
right, we did it. Cool.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
we did it. Next songs. Next ones.
dude. The best
Another
part,
one.
another dude, it is very much the DJ Khaled shit. Yes, dude. But no, it's funny. In back in like the fall, Ryan, he writes most of the lyrics. He's like, man, he's like, after this one, I need to take like a little break. Just on writing new stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's work on some covers or do whatever. It wasn't more than like a week and a half, and he's like, fuck yeah, I got a new idea. I was like, all right, let's go. So we didn't have to pause on that too long.
Well, for this new one that you guys are releasing actually in a
Yeah,
couple weeks, and you guys had just finished
yeah.
recording the music video, Violent Violent, correct?
Yeah. Violent violence. Yep. Yeah, it's a hard one to say a bunch of times in a row, but the way it's enunciated in the song is pretty rad. But yeah, March 14th. So song and video will be coming out, and there'll be 2 more songs after that before the album. But this one's fun. It's a faster one for us too, so it was a lot of fun. A
Much
lot of
respect for that, doing the music video and the single on this day of. Like that's how it used to be. Like,
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
dropped the
yeah.
same thing, boom, not one after the other. Like, here's our single, and then like a month later, here's a music video for the single. I'm like, oh, I guess that's cool. Yeah.
Just dude, you give it, especially in today's age, to have the visual with it too at the same time. And it's cool, man. We were doing about a single a month for, I mean, shit, most of these 3 years. We're starting to move it back a little bit, more like month and a half ish release. But we're happy doing what we're doing until someone tells us not to, or someone, whatever. But yeah, it's a fun song. It's faster. It's got, I think, the most pinch harmonics in a song that we have so far. So that's fun. There's some, yeah, it's a couple really really fun riffs. So Ryan, he likes to say he's primarily a rhythm player, but I try and push him to being more of a lead player all the time. So I'll literally put spots in songs. I'm like, Ryan, guess what that is? That's you soloing, motherfucker. So this is one of those, and so we do a little splitsy. We do like a kind of a harmonized lead thing, and then into like I do half the solo, then he does the second half. So it's fun. He's incredibly creative, and he doesn't give himself enough credit. So we do a little dual
And
solo in this one.
just from listening to the like, knowing, like I figured it was, but you never know anymore. But like I
Yeah, yeah.
figured you guys were like in the drop C, maybe C sharp range, and I'm
Mhm.
like, dude, I'm getting the kill switch vibes, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Thank
great
you.
like the OGs like who really solidified the drop C tuning. So it's like, and even bringing up
Yup.
the pinch harmonics, I'm like, oh, here we go, getting
Yeah.
it in there.
Yep. Dude, between the growing up and listening to Zach Wild, and then honestly Kill Switch, Shadows Fall, Chimera, all those, like that was my era when I kind of started. Ironically, I just bought Kill Switch tickets today. They
Dude, that's
you
gonna
hear about that tour?
yeah, that looks insane. That's gonna
I
be
Prevail, Beartooth. The thing starts at like 3 p.m. Because it's like, dude, Devil Wears Prada's on there. Parkway Drive.
It's kind
It's
of
gonna be
like
nuts.
it always
Like,
reminds me. I'm like, oh damn, it's like the Rockstar Energy Tour right there, dude.
yeah, dude, totally. Yep. I grew up 04 and '05 Ozfest. My dad and his friend took my friends and I to Ozfest, and that's when I got to see these bands, like most of these bands for the first time.
Did you go to
So
San Francisco or Shoreline?
Shoreline. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, dude. And then I remember when Sounds of the Underground happened, the Mayhem Fest ones. Um, yeah, dude, so many good festivals growing up, but it's good to see a lot of them back, man. And just how many different ones there are now. It's honestly kind of overwhelming, actually. How many different like did you hear Louder Than Life? You see
I
that lineup?
know that's it. This is they're trying to compete. There's you. I'm sure you know Hellfest out in France.
Yeah, yep.
That's like I consider that like the Coachella of metal festivals, you know. And
Agreed. Yep.
this Louder Than Life, my buddy Bruiser Brody, he plays for Bastard Bach, and they're playing a Louder Than Life.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet. Nice.
and he sent me the
Wait,
whole.
wait. Has he
What's
played
that?
with him for a while?
Just last year.
Okay, 'cause I saw him here in Cedar Park, which is just north of Austin, but I think it was a couple years ago. But
No, just
anyways,
last year.
continue.
You guys
That's
joined
rad.
them literally a year ago.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but this lineup, I'm like, this is insane. But at the same time, like, dude, that's too much.
It's honestly like my girlfriend and I were talking about it. I was like, I want to see a lot of these bands like on their own. Like Sleep Token and Dayseeker, we've actually seen them both separately, and it was exactly what I was hoping it would be. But I was like, in that setting, that is going to be extremely like aggressive, hard to get a good spot. Like so many things were going through
Yeah,
my
like,
mind.
and they're doing what they're doing 6 stages, and I'm like, bro, they were always been 4 stages, and that was hard enough going back and forth. I used to go to Loud
Oh
Life all
yeah,
the time, and now with six, I'm like, bro, that's just too much. Like now at this point,
like
you're asking people to get like heat exhaustion because it's hot when they have it out there during it's
oh
like
yeah, June,
September.
late June, I think. Or no, that one's September. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still hot as
Hot as
balls out
balls.
there, dude. So like it's great and everyone can try to get to see everyone they want, but you're gonna be missing clearly sets and people that you actually kind of want. I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose my spot for Avenged Sevenfold or
Right. Yeah. But hey, props to them for like the logistics of that, paying everybody. Ironically, we had tickets to go to Sick New World, and that one obviously just went poof. Like
yeah.
that was a strange one to me because like they did it last year. It's like how did that go so wrong this year? And I don't know.
It's probably
That was
it's
strange.
I can only imagine like logistics money wise. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
Because what System of a Down was supposed to play this new one, right? Or something like that? Or
I think so. I remember hearing a rumor, or it was Metallica and Linkin
oh,
Park were
that's right,
both on it.
Metallica. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I guarantee it was probably the money because, like, dude, it's
dude.
Metallica and Linkin Park. Those two
I
bands.
think they said each of those bands was like rumored to be getting 5 million each, which I'm not
Yeah,
surprised by. But like that's a lot of money if you're
yeah,
not getting the
dude.
tickets you
So
expected or something.
I'm sure their return was going to be so low. It's like, fuck, we might as well just scrap it.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, man. But anyways, yeah. Lift curse wise, appreciate you asking. Yeah, it's fun. Actually, you know what's funny? I think how I found you is you interviewed Cody Jasper, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was going to
Yeah,
bring that up. You guys
that
played
was
a
it.
show with them with Drowning Pool.
We did, and that was actually this bringing it full circle. That was at my favorite venue here, Come and Take It Live, the one I was talking about. So that's yeah how we met. I think we played right before Cody actually, and we got asked to be on that show like less than a week before, which we don't usually do there. But we're like, fuck yeah, Drowning Pool, like let's go. So
Yeah.
it was a really fun show, and yeah, Cody was amazing. I had never seen him before, so
Oh,
just awesome.
I think he's an incredibly underrated, like, just one musician and two, just like songwriter. The dude can
Yeah,
riff stupidly well, insanely well.
great
Just
dude
like
too.
on a down the earth friendly guy. And then, ironically, I met him through mutual people too. So it's like,
That's how it goes, man.
yeah, everybody knows everyone, dude.
It's the best. It's the best.
But like, so after, Violent Violence is coming out,
Yeah.
what's the next timeline after
Probably
this year?
month and a half. We're talking like album release. We're kind of working backwards from that. So at this point, that'll probably be May or June. So we'll have one more single in between. That one we're actually just started to kind of writing today. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, so probably one if that's March. We'll probably release another single in like late April, maybe early May, and then depending on that, the song that we're gonna release with the album, ironically, that one's already done. So I bet album will probably be. I had to guess late May or mid June, probably.
Damn, I mean that's dude, it's coming up
That's
in
very
March
soon.
tomorrow, bro.
I know.
Like, that's only a
I
few
know.
months
That's what I'm thinking
away.
logistically. That's
You
two
make
more
it like,
videos.
it's so far away. I'm like, that's really a couple months, man. Like you guys are
I
pounding
know.
this out. It's like it seems like you don't. You're like, no, we just write riffs every day. All right, new song, new song, new song. Which
Yeah,
is great. It's
dude.
killer.
What's crazy too, man, is we both have normal jobs. Like Ryan Singer, he's got three kiddos. And we both work normal jobs too. So we just find a way, and it's pretty sweet. Yeah, we again he's 90 minutes away, but we talk on the phone all the time. So we agree on things 99.9% of the time. So the dynamic is very um healthy, easy, fun, inspiring. It's all the things, man. He's become one of my best friends,
Do you
obviously.
guys think you're gonna add the official? You have it live, but you're gonna add the third, maybe fourth member to the band. At least the third,
That's
like
a
the drummer part. Yeah, you guys talked about that.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
gonna be in the future?
We have talked about it. Yeah, it's always potentially. We again, our boy Kyle, his name's Kyle Vanderhoof, has been our primary drummer for
Yeah.
the 3 years, and dear friend. He used to play with our last band too. Um, and yeah, it we might. It just works so well with the two. It's kind of hard. Um, but we absolutely might. The bass thing that'd be a longer down the road thing.
Yeah,
But
because
again,
there's
unless
a lot of
someone like,
bands that they don't have it. Like from Ashes to New doesn't have a bass player.
oh yeah, yeah,
No.
yep,
So
yep.
it's that's way more normalized now than ever. Which ironically, as I'm a bass player too. So
I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you guys. I know, but you're a badass bass player too.
thanks, sir. Thank you, there. Uh,
um,
but I
but yeah,
mostly,
actually, from Ashes. Oh, I was gonna. Funny you brought them up. We actually opened for them at the same place a couple years ago. It was one of our best shows we've had. Actually, it was a random Tuesday. They were. It wasn't even a tour. They were just making their way out to. I think it was Welcome to Rockville in Florida.
oh yeah, they just want to do a pop up show in the way. Yeah, that's.
It was a Tuesday. It was a bumping ass Tuesday at this venue. It was awesome.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that well, hopefully you guys. I mean, you never know. Getting the third head in the mix, gonna see how like give out some new ideas. Even though you might be
Oh
stuck
yeah.
in your ways, you guys are so used to being unionized between you two and like a marital contract, essentially.
Yeah, for real. Oh,
You guys
it's
have a
so true.
name decided for this album around May that's gonna be coming out? Is that
Ooh,
been finalized?
good. Not finalized yet. The song that's going to come out with the album is called Dusk and Dawn, but I don't think we're going to call the album that. Usually we'll take, it's kind of fun. We'll usually take like a line from one of the songs, and that'll be the album title. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Our first album was Rise with the Flames, which was a song. Second was Suffer and Survive, and that one was two different instrumental songs. One was called Suffer, one's called Survive. And then what was the last one? Oh, last one was called Overtake, which was just a line from a song called Lacerate. So it'll probably be something like that. A line from one of the songs that kind of speaks to what the rest of it's all about.
And now this would be cool to ask too, because now kind of like seeing how you guys are just pumping it out like nothing. It sounds like you're like the Cody of Austin right now, from Wage War, because he's writing riffs for everyone. He's writing for Falling in Reverse, A Day to Remember.
Oh yeah,
Do you think you want to be a ghostwriter for people? Because it sounds like, dude, you can just do it like that. You can pump up a riff like nothing. Is that like that's a new kind of like as in the last 5 years, that's been a new emergence for guitar players as something of an extra stream of revenue is, I'm going to be
yeah,
a ghostwriter. I'm going to write the riffs for some of these bands. Have you thought about
dude. I
that?
would love. I haven't put too much thought into it, but I would love to. I've got some friends that do it, and it'd be super fun. Honestly, doing some of the Ola England, he does those riff challenges every week. I've been doing those for years, and like it's just good practice to force yourself to write something in an arrangement that you didn't come up with originally. Like it's just
Yeah.
drums, but like you can't control it. It's like cool. I'm gonna fit in this and see what I can do. So with that, I love doing that, and I've kind of been in the habit. So ghostwriting would be a blast, I think.
It might be something you need to start doing a little promotion on. Just saying
For sure, I
for
appreciate
how fast you
it.
can pump out songs. That sounds like that's nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate the idea, man. That sounds like a blast.
Well, I'm stoked when you guys finally release this on March 14th. Definitely going to give it a bump, link, and everything so everyone can watch, hear, stream it. I want to. It's always fun, like finishing up everything. It's fun to ask because you never know what people are listening to. You could be listening to like some Taylor Swift right now, maybe Spice Girls. You don't know. So,
Yep,
what
yep.
have you been bumping lately? What's been on your Spotify or Apple Music rotation?
Ooh. Ironically, I told you this. I have been listening to the new Architects. I hadn't bumped in. Did the album come out today?
Yeah, came out today. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I've only listened to the singles earlier this week so far, but Been listening to that quite a bit. Again, always listening to my Swedish stuff, so my Evergrey, Amaranth, all of that. There's a rock band from Sweden called Heat that one of my favorites. There's a singer named Eric Gronwall. You mentioned Sebastian Bach, but he actually sang for Skid Row for the last couple years. The singer
Ah,
is
okay.
bonkers. He's not in the band currently, but he does a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, Heat is fantastic. And actually, ironically, I've been listening to a lot of Hans Zimmer. We saw Hans Zimmer live here in Austin about a month ago. One of the coolest concerts I've ever been to. Like played the Pirates stuff, stuff from like Superman, Lion King. It was and Guthrie Govan, the
Yeah,
guitar
yeah,
player.
yeah.
Dude, I found out like a couple days before that he was part of his live band, so I got to see Guthrie
Oh, that's
live.
sick. Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Well, like it's so
so
great to see those
it's so
live
good.
compositions. Like I've seen
Oh,
Tim Burton.
oh my God, there you go.
One of my buddies, he's his live band orchestra drummer, and so I've got
Oh,
to go to some
sick.
Tim Burton concerts, and it's so cool to see that like that composition of that as well.
Yeah, dude, just that caliber too. Oh my God. Yeah, it was just different. And then I've been listening to a lot of Mastodon lately too. I don't know if you're into Mastodon, but I freaking love
I,
Mastodon.
I am for certain albums, like
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, it's like Leviathan will always be my favorite one.
Yep.
Um, but like their last album they put out, I wasn't too fan of it. It was very doom stoner rocky metal, I would
Yep,
say.
yep, yep. I think
Hit
Crack
or
the
miss.
Sky is probably my favorite. But I'm at
Leviathan, I was the one I'm thinking about, right? Yeah. Is that?
yep, yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm a little bit of a later bloomer for Mastodon. Like I even saw them, I think literally on a tour with Children of Bodom, Lamb of God, and Slayer back in the day, and I just wasn't really into them yet. But yeah, in the last few years, I've gotten pretty into them, and I really like Braun, the drummer, his voice. So many of the songs he's singing on, like "Show Yourself," and I think he's on a lot of the more like melodic choruses. I'm
Yeah.
pretty big on. So,
I still remember the first
but
time I caught them. I caught them by accident. I never knew who they were. This was before the age of social media and like finding out there's no streaming and like I was
yeah.
in the army. I was stationed out in Germany and I went to Rock
Oh,
and Park
nice.
the first year.
Oh, sweet.
And it was Avenged Sevenfold, Rob Zombie, Volbeat, like all kinds of bands. And Mastodon was there playing midday. And I'm like, oh, let's go check out this band. I like their name, Mastodon. And I'm like, whoa, this is cool. But it was like midday, and there was not a lot of people there to see them. But it's like, I never heard of this band before until like going to Rock and Park.
Ah, dude, that's why those kind of festivals are so good. You just never know.
Well, pros and cons now of like that
Yeah,
moment
yeah,
where you find a band that you never heard of before and you hear them live for the first time, and now you see
yeah.
the lineup and you can look up the bands and stuff like that.
Right, right. Just different time, different experience. Uh, but yeah, man. And always listen to my '80s stuff too. I'm a huge everything '80s. Anything from I think Warrant is a very underrated band.
Incredibly underrated. Oh, dude, same
Like
thing. I'll say
Jenny
Warrant.
Lane's one of my favorite singers.
I'd say Warrant and Wasp are like some of the 80
Oh
bands.
yeah,
Yeah, highly
yes,
underrated. Like they have a cult following,
yep.
and they are big among metalheads, but outside that, I don't think so.
No, because Warrant and they're the Cherry Pie Band, but no one knows that. Like that album apparently was supposed to be called Uncle Tom's Cabin, but like they made Janie write one more song like last minute. So I think he wrote Cherry Pie in like 30 minutes in a hotel room is what I read. But
Hey, dude,
and then that's but it works.
some of those last minute things, like whatever you just like, oh, I just made that up like while I was on the toilet, like becomes your biggest
It's
hit.
like yeah, yep. But yeah, such a killer band. I love that a lot of those bands are still touring, obviously with even different members and stuff sometimes, but still like yeah, I freaking love anything 80s hair metal, 80s rock. Like that'll always have even you sent a gif of Rockstar, my favorite movie, hands down. That
Dude,
soundtrack is absolutely incredible.
underrated gem. Nailed it.
Dude,
Nailed
it
it.
is so
Oh,
good.
Steel Dragon, dude, which was
Steel
Steel
Dragon.
Heart, who played
Yep,
the band.
dude.
Dude,
Mike Matijevic. I saw him on a cruise. I went on Monsters of Rock cruise in 2020 and got to see. Yeah, it's so freaking good. And then Jeff Scott Soto did the other voice in it. So I think it was like Matijevic from Steelheart did the voice that Mark Wahlberg was, and then the other singer that he replaced those scenes that was Jeff Scott Soto.
oh wow, okay, I didn't know that.
So on the soundtrack you have both, which is sick. Like stand up and shout. That voice is Jeff Scott Soto. I'm
And I
almost positive.
and I appreciate that film for using pretty much real rock stars
Yes,
having Zach
Zach.
Wild, dude, like having them in there, like that just
Yep,
made it better. It really put on the louder than life
authentic.
thing to it. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, because dude, the cameos are great. We just watched it again last week, first time in a while. Jeff Pilson, the Dokken bass player, was in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
dude.
think it was the drummer of Slaughter. Actually, I don't think he's in the band anymore, but the drummer of Slaughter, the blonde guy, he was the
Yeah.
drummer in. I think he was the drummer in Mark Wahlberg's tribute band at first. I think, and then, dude, this is pretty nerdy to know, but Nick Catanese, the old other guitar player in Black Label Society, Zach's band, he was in one of the tribute band too.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Oh,
Like
damn.
he might have like one line, but like the cameos are pretty deep in that
Yeah,
movie. And
it's like
Miles Kennedy's in it too.
they show that film ages so well too, like
Oh, it
showing that
does.
crossover change of the hair metal to the grunge era and things dying
Yes.
off. Like, dude, this is like
Yep.
it ages so
Perfect.
well, and it like still nails like certain topics of the music industry, how things are changing and like people are getting bitter. Like, no, we're gonna stay, we know, and it shows the
Yeah.
business side of things, and like kind of like almost like a Kiss dynamic, and
Yeah.
like how we have an image. No, this is the Steel Dragon image. That's great if
Yeah.
you want to do it, but that's not
Yeah.
what
Yeah. Yeah.
Dragon wants to do.
Yep. Yep. So perfect. And yeah, my favorite is the Miles Kennedy stuff at the end. Do you know
Oh
that? Miles
yeah.
Kennedy from Alter Bridge?
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which,
Dude, it's
oh,
now I'm gonna rewatch that tonight. I
yeah,
have it
do
on
it. Do yourself a
DVD and I have
favor.
it on VHS. It's like such a great classic gem that
Uh,
I don't know why. Maybe it was just because of the time frame. Like it wasn't as
yeah.
big. But if like that movie came out on Netflix right now, dude, it would fucking like
Oh
on
my God.
great.
Dude, and it's Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't really get much bigger than that. Like
they
the fact that
all
they said
nailed
yes
it.
to do
Like
that.
I did not see a single I don't think there's anything bad about it personally, but like everyone has their taste, dude.
I agree. No, and again, I've rewatched it last week. I was like, it holds up really well. And the soundtrack, even like all the Steel Dragon songs are phenomenal, but even the songs they chose to have in it are perfect too.
Oh yeah, I
Like
still
what?
have that CD
It's so
too. I
good.
remember I buy them like fuck
Yeah, I have
yeah.
it too.
Well,
Yeah. Oh,
dude, it
so
was
good.
awesome to talk to you. And
Yeah. Likewise, man.
almost, I'm sure we will run each other. Whether I'm going to be in Austin or something like that, which I'll let you know
Yeah.
if I'm out
Yep.
there because, dude,
Likewise.
hence my handle name, Traveling Rock. I'm always going everywhere. Um,
Yes.
but dude, definitely going to be bumping. You guys have a pre-save link for March
We
14th?
do. We do actually. Yeah. 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 Yep. I'll shoot it over.
Yeah, I'll have everything on there. Give them a stream, follow, like, heart, buy everything because it's as much as we love making music, you can get a little love, you can get some
Yep.
stuff,
Yep.
get
Yep.
some. Do you guys have merch too on your websites?
Oh, we do. Yep, 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 yep. All in all the links and link trees and every link you pretty much find in all our socials.
So buy merch. Do what I'm famous for, cut offs. What he's got right there.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
famous for cutting off my sleeves, and I do it professionally. Literally, my buddy Joe.
Respect. It's an art.
Plays my buddy Joe. He plays for Breaking Into Sequence. He literally
Oh,
has
sweet.
like, "You're my shirt cutting service," and he'll have new shirts. And I was
Oh my
like
God.
fold them and like cut them on the sides. Here you go.
Dude, it's an art. Absolute art.
Well,
uh,
brother, dude, happy Friday. Stoked to meet you and listen to new music. I'm sure like I said, we're gonna run each other again. Even maybe we'll play a show together. You don't know. I'm playing with you.
hell yeah, dude.
Never
Yes.
know. If you guys want to do a show in Cali, I can put something together. I am so fucking down with that. Even if
Dude, likewise.
like
You're in
if you
Austin.
guys
Let
don't
me
want to
know.
bring your drummer out here that you've been using, or if you want to stick with them and need somebody, know plenty of session drummers.
Ooh, okay. Dude.
Like I'm down to make this happen.
Yes. Hey, so are we, man. That sounds incredible.
So be on the
Uh,
lookout, please. Again, follow everything. I'm gonna have the links posted below. All right, give them a boost, and always remember to keep the horns up.